Hey people, I had lost some viewers on this video here, which I knew I would, and I didn't care because that's the people who are just not ready to wake up. And I got some back, and I got them all back on these last videos. And this video here, this is a really good one. If you watch this 28-minute video, you're going to know more about ancient Hebrew than all the authorities on it. And it's in this package of 2 videos, and it really doesn't matter how you watch them, but I read the line in 3 different ways. And I said I was going to finish that here, but I ran into something that I just had to add on to here. Some people might think I got a boofing infatuation, and it's far from it. I'm trying to avoid it, but that's just what the majority of the Bible's about. You know, imagine living in the desert where during the day everything hides out. There's no life around. And it doesn't happen until the night nut swallows the sun. Every evening, nut swallows the sun. And that's when all the stars come out and all the desert life comes out when nut swallows Ra. And it travels through, and in the morning, she shits it back out. You know, this is the end that it's coming out. And he travels in the boat across the sky, and then the night swallows him. You know, and there was evening, and there was B-O-F-R, the boofer. And it uses the same word in the Greek here, you know, and again it to prow, and H-M, to come her Amia, A-M-I-A. Amia is Greek for boofin. You see it right here, Amia, the bowfin. In Italian, you know, coming from the Greek, Amia, the boofin. The first day was about the boofin, and the entire Bible, that's the title, you know, is boofin. So I try not to stick too many things in my ass. I remember a long time ago, a doctor would give me a suppository, and I couldn't understand how that would work, but you know, it was just a black little gummy pill, and God, it worked good. You know, when you take something orally, your stomach's, you know, it's mainly concentrating on breaking it down with acids, and it takes a while. Next time you get a headache, try sticking an aspirin up your ass. And tell me how it works, because I'm probably not going to try it. You know, I have got the stigmata. You know, they've been trying to wash it into us for a long time, you know. If you put something in your ass, you know, they might call you a fruit or a faggot if you start putting things up your butt. And if you're female, you know, it's a lot easier. We expect you to put things, you know, and in hyphen, and he said, you know, vagina, away, to the Karpov. And, you know, Karpov, that's not fruit. Karpov is a twist. It's where it's wrist, is Greek for the wrist. And the wrist is ancient word that means, you know, to twist. It's another way of, is what it means, the Karpov. You know, the Karpos, the wrist, meaning to twist. And hyphen, and said, you know, vagina away, Karpo, to twist to what's will of, to the paradise, the paradies, the parade is of. You know, you get high and you see that parade going on. You know, you see this parade, everybody dressed up for the parade, got their party hats on. You know, the parade is of the Fago method. You know, if you get caught sticking too many things in your ass, it causes your wrists to twist, you know. We're going to call you a fruit. That's how we could tell, as the way of the wrist is turned. You know, to walk like an Egyptian. You know, the Karpo, the fruit, the twist of the wrist tells off all. You know, if you got 2 right hands, you a boofer. If you got 2 left hands, you don't figure out how to break it down and smoke it. You know, the vagina, a way to twist of. To what swill of, to a parade is of the Fago method. Once you do it once, you'll never go back. It's a parade. They just keep on going, the Fago method. So I by no means have any kind of anal infatuation with boofing, and I had no idea that that's what this book was about when I started reading it. But that's what the Zafanny is. God's hiding place up in your fanny. So I said I wasn't gonna hit this anymore, but I'd run into this after I was watching that last movie. And shall do unrighteousness. I was reading this as of L of the VAYO. Just these first two is a YO, and the VAO, the valley, and then the top O I was reading is a of, and then a IO or YO, and U. Skip the S, and the VAO U, and then two W's here. To woo. I was reading this as a WOO, and to woo, and then a VIL, and then a OAE is a OES, of villows. I was showing you how that started as the word for the farmers and somehow became the villains. And so I was looking at that a little closer, and that's why you have to read this 100 times, because if you just read this as you and then whoa, just one O, and this read, the bottom O reads with the OV of, and then the I is reading here with the ILOES, the Ilos. Lowest ancient Teutonic shapes and sounds, they say means holy. Lows, coming from the lower, or laud, which they say means to give thanks or praise. In the Hebrew, in most every language, they say, to praise. But in the Greek, in the Latin, when you put an I in front of something, then it's the ilos, and it's not praise, not holy. As Ire is the day of wrath, and so the ray is good, and the ire is not good. And so it looks like that's where they're getting this shall do unrighteousness, is you woe of ilos. The ilos, is the not good. But in order to read it like that, you woe, you stop, just one O. Instead of woo, instead of search out the favor of, it's you stop of the illo. You stop of the illos, or you woo Vilios. And so that's why, the first you just read it with the letters, and then you come back and you read it with the bottom markings, and then you come back and read it with the top markings, and then you come back and read it all again 100 times, and make sure you don't miss any letters. When you see that dot there, make sure you remember, that's two vowels. Don't miss out any letter, don't add any letters, or it's going to change the meaning, because geniuses spent a lot of time putting all this together. And that's why they changed this word villos from farmers to the villain. And it's this double negative. A double negative is a positive, and to woe, to stop of the ilos, the evil, or to woo of the villos, and the villos isn't the villain. That's the word they created because you were seeking favors from the farmer in the valley, in the Veo, farmer in the Dell. The farmer in the Dell is the Vallejo in the Veo. Vallejo in the Veo, farmer in the Dell. And so that's all I got. I just seen that one little thing, and I made this movie out of all that. But don't miss this movie. It's got my highest retention rate. Half the people that turn it on watch the entire thing, 28 minutes. And I guarantee in that 28 minutes, in just part of it, if you just watch 5 minutes of it, you're going to know more about ancient Hebrew than all the scholars. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.